Hi, flash tube, it's Diane. Let's see, I'm gonna turn. Nope, go this way. Okay, so I'm gonna do an update video. I know it's been 3 weeks, or I don't know, almost 4. I'm gonna pause you for just a second. Gotta have my hydration. It's weird, I cleared a bunch of stuff off my phone and I'm still getting less memory. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I should have looked when I did my last update video. I know it was before May 1st. So since then, our 6th child graduated from our homeschool, and that was really good because we've had, if you're in this area of the country, you know, rain, dreary weather, snow, yes, snow in May, I kid you not, and it's like, you know what, we're done. It's almost June. I don't know if Mother Nature has PMS or what, but I'm tired of this. And on the day of his graduation, it was supposed to be cloudy and dreary weather, but it was gorgeous. Oh man, it was like 73, and where they held the graduation was at Northwestern College in Roseville, and the building's near a lake. Just enough breeze off that lake to make it comfortable, not a cloud in the sky. I thought, oh, yes! And then it went again. And for his open house 2 weeks later, I had hoped that that would happen again. It didn't. It rained the night before and it rained after his party, but it was pretty, let's just say the ground is pretty spongy right now. It's just because there's nowhere else for the water to go. Yes, the ground is thawing, but there's nowhere for it to go. And yes, we rented tables and chairs. We did use some of the chairs, but if I didn't rent the tables, we would have needed them. But we had a nice turnout, a nice number of people come through. Not everybody came at once, which was really nice because then you can have a conversation and really enjoy your time. So it was good. And he seemed to enjoy himself a lot, which is always the main priority. Other than that, I've just been busy with life. I've been doing a lot of homeschool planning, becoming familiar with the new materials that I bought this year, trying to get it in my head how I want to organize things, like physically on a bookshelf, and also, are we going to use binders, are we going to use folders, are we going to da-da-da-da-da, all those questions. Don't have all the answers yet, but I'm working on it. So essentially in the mornings I'm focusing on homeschooling, planning type of stuff, and then afternoon craft type of stuff, and household stuff's in there. But yeah, we planted grass seed and it rotted because it was so cold and wet. The grass seed needs a certain temperature. Didn't happen. So we'll have to do it again. I do not pretend to have a green thumb, but I can grow grapes if I get them in the ground. I don't eat them, but I like all the vines of the deck. And we want to this is the east side of our house, and strawberries grow there really well. So we're gonna get strawberry plants. We have a raised bed, and I'm gonna let the kids just get some annuals and just have fun. Why not? I can do perennials. I could do Asiatic lilies, but I'm pretty much a black thumb on everything else. And I'm not gonna fake it anymore. Why bother? We have farmers markets, and yeah, let people actually know what they're doing. Go to the store and buy the plants. But have I been doing any sewing? I don't think I've been doing any sewing either. I'm planning on doing sewing, but I haven't gotten around to it. But I have been doing some stitching. And I had not intended, okay, Stitch Mania started in 2015. I had a grad. Stitch Mania 2016 graduate. 2017, I had a 6-month-old and a newly minted Marine, and there was a lot involved there to get him from basic training, or excuse me, boot camp, graduation, MCT, mom's emotions everywhere. Yeah, so it didn't happen. 2018 grad. So 2019 I thought, well, grad, I can't do it. And then I was watching Pam and Steph's video about their Stitch Mania. And hold on one moment. Anyway, I was watching their video, their Stitch Mania video, and they were holding up their bags, and they did the 19 days of Stitch Mania, the official Stitch Mania. And Pam held up this bag. I made 2 of these bags, so I sent one to Pam, and mine has Let Freedom Ring by Lila Studios. And Pam, she couldn't remember who made the bag, and she said, if you made it, will you please comment and remind me? And so I did. I said, yeah, I made the bag, and in mine that I own, I have Let Freedom Ring. And in the one that I made Stephanie, which is, so sorry, I thought I had this all organized, is this one. I have One Nation by Bygone Stitches. And I thought, you know, I should really pull that out and put another stripe in, because it's on my Year of Whips list. And to be honest, the only Year of Whips piece I've stitched on is my family tree. I haven't stitched on anything else. And so I got it out and I put 1 row in. And then I was sitting there, I don't know if it was their video or somebody else's Mania, and I thought, you know, doing these state names doesn't take very long. And I know May is going to be busy for me, so my Mania is on this piece every day. I'm putting 1 state name in. If I have more stitching time, then I could either continue working on this piece because each stripe is outlined and there are other motifs in it. I could either continue working on this piece or I could switch to another. And that's what I've been doing. Today is May 26th, and I just finished up Nevada. And so I have 36 names complete. And here is the pattern. This picture, this does not do this piece justice at all. This piece is amazing when you see it. And I know Pam has stitched this. She has it framed in her house somewhere. She might have even had it at the retreat in 2016 that both of us went to in Cincinnati. I remember seeing this there. I don't know if she was stitching on it or there was a piece very similar to this by a different designer. But I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. But then I saw pictures, Stitcher shared it on, I don't know if it was Pam's or who else's, but I really liked the piece. I ran across it at Stitchville. I found my fabric, which for me is 36 count vintage country mocha. And the pattern calls for Classic Colorworks. And I pulled those fibers. It also has DMC alternatives, and I pulled those, and there's a window in Stitchville you can go to that has a lot of natural light. So I had the fibers on my fabric, and I like the DMC just a little more. On my fabric, the DMC looked it was better. That is what I'm using. And I had 10 states stitched prior to May 1st. And I've done 1 a day ever since. And I'm doing unofficial Stitch Mania by just doing 1 a day. And here's my piece. So yes, this is a sizable piece, but there are these little motifs, and then each stripe is outlined. So if I did the state name and then chose to continue on this piece, that is what I worked on, those lines, which is nice because you could talk to people, you could watch a movie, and you just like, I have a line, and I had already figured out how far to go over here, so it's like when I get to the end, I just go back. And it's all DMC. If it was over dyed, I'd do 1 stitch at a time. My middle daughter and I had a chance to go and stitch with some ladies yesterday in Minnetonka, Minnesota at the Byerly's. And the next one is June 22nd, 2019 from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. The Byerly's in Minnetonka. You're welcome if you are in the area. Another lady there who I talked to before, she brought hers. She said, I knew you were going to be here, and I figured you'd bring this piece, which I did. So I could, yesterday was West Virginia. And she brought hers, and she's stitching it on the called for fabric, which is ale. If I picture this plus, I'm not sure if she's doing the 28 count or what count, but she's doing it in the Classic Colorworks, and the colors are amazing on that ale color. I think I looked for the ale when I was kitting this up, but they didn't have a piece the right size, or I don't know. I don't remember. But I'm really liking this now. When I stitched Georgia, I know it might be harder for you to see on the camera, but for me, I can read the dates pretty nicely. Georgia, and I posted it, and someone said, "Oh, I hate to tell you this, but you forgot the second G." And I looked, and she was totally right. I had forgotten the second G. It's one of those days Mom sits down, everybody has to ask her 5 gazillion questions. Mom puts her earbuds in, nobody gets the hint. Yeah. So I laughed, and I thanked her, because Connecticut and Massachusetts are the next 2 states, and I would never have realized that I did not have that second G until I was all the way over here, and I'd have to rip all that out. So just ripping out the I and the A and putting it in, it took me less than 15 minutes to fix. I said, "Oh, I'm so thankful you told me that right away." I will say, on this line here, I got all the way over here and I realized I was off somehow. Like, how could I be off 1 stitch? So I counted back, counted back, counted back, counted back, counted back. And what I did on this line is there were supposed to be 2 stitches between this little motif and this edge here, which you probably can't see because my lighting in here is horrible. I am so sorry. My whole house has very weird lighting. I'm an amateur at this. That's what happens. There are 2 stitches in there now, but I only had done 1. So I come over because I didn't have the blue done at that time. And I had all the red, and I thought, oh man, can I fudge it? Not on this particular piece, because it would affect all this blue and, you know, everything else down here. It would throw off the count. So yes, I did remove that entire row. First of all, I just removed these stitches here and added that extra row. And here I did the same because I had the red stripe part all done. So I just, you know, cut out a few stitches and then added it. But all the motifs and the state names I had to restitch. Oh wow. You can see I have the white for the next line that I'm working on. There's Nevada, tomorrow is Nebraska. And I have this line stitched, and I'm working on this red one. And then there's 1 more white and 1 more red stripe, and then I'll have all the stripes done. I've also taken some time to start on the blue over here, and I have 1 star done. There are 49 more stars I need to put in. Although this star, there's some blue right around the center, so I'm just going to get all the white part of the star done. I'll go back and pick up those blue stitches in the center of each star, or if I have just this much left of my blue, you know, do like this line here and I have this much left, I'll just pop it in as I go. But again, it's all DMC. So even though I had to rip out that whole line, I didn't have to worry about lining up colors or anything, so I was really glad I did the DMC. But I'm really liking the DMC on this fabric. I think the Classic Colorworks would be too muted. But on that ale, what is called for, oh my, the Classic Color, I wouldn't do DMC on that. I would do the Classic Colorworks because it's beautiful. So this is the one I'm still working on for Stitch Mania. My plan is to 1 state name a day until May 31st, and then I will have 41 state names done. And then starting June 1st, if I want to, I'll continue at least 1 state name a day. If I want to do more than 1, I will. No pressure. I'll just get it done. But I could potentially have this piece done in June, which would be awesome for my Stitch from Stash, because if I did the math right, that would give me $52 of credit for Stitch from Stash, if I did the math right. I think I did. I'm hoping I did. Another piece that I worked on since I was last here, sorry, my tag on my fabric is stuck to the pattern, is my memorial piece, Amazing Grace, for friends who lost their son. And yeah, my heart still breaks over that whole thing. 36 count flax, and I'm stitching it in black, red, and I picked up a green yesterday at Stitchville. So yes, I have more stash to show. I didn't have enough of this Presentia Finca number 12. It's color 406. It's black. I didn't have enough of this yardage wise, so I picked up 2 more of those. I have the red, which is here. Same company. This is 326. And I'm going to pair these with this green, which is 22. Which I think these 3 will look really, really nice together. But again, where did I put the pattern? So my goal on this one by the end of June will be to have this first verse completely done, including the rows, and have all the top part of this border and maybe like this part of the border all the way across. I'm not sure on the side borders, but definitely want that top border done. And I just use the thread as it comes off the ball, and here is where I'm at now. Last time I showed it, I had no words, and I had just a little bit of the border. But I think this border, it's a really nice border. I'll be honest, I don't always like the My Big Toe Designs borders, but I really like this one. And in case I forgot to say, it's 36 count flax. So that's my goal for this one for June, is get that first verse done. I mean, this thing is huge. It's a big piece of fabric. We get that first verse done, and then the whole top border, and if I can, the sides. If I can, I'll do the sides. I've done a little bit on my family tree. I'll show it. I don't have a huge... Last time I showed you this, I had 3 cottages, 2 cottages, and 3 cottages. So I had 8 cottages done. So I started this one again. I've already stitched it once along the bottom row because I have 14 children. I need 16 cottages, and that's how I'm doing it. 36 count flax again. And so child 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 14, 13, and then my husband's. And so this is actually my grad's, child number 6, so this is actually his. So I have, that is weird. Why did I thought I had the whole roof done, but you know what, I don't. Oops. I somehow missed a stitch there. That's okay, it's so early in the project. And it will look just like this one with different initials and date. And on these, it's much easier to put the date in and then just fill in whatever color they want. And that's a technique I'm going to be using on this piece I started yesterday, which is also on 36 count flax. I just really like this fabric. It's has a nice body to it. It's a nice color, so it goes with overdyes, it goes with DMC, it goes with anything. I stitch in hand the majority of the time. And so this piece, or this fabric, works really well for that. I'm trying to find the picture. This is Barbara Ann Designs, or Barbara Anna Designs. Which is it? Barbara Anna Designs. Long May She Wave. This is all DMC. And on the family tree, I'm doing 1 strand over 2 threads. The Amazing Grace, I'm doing 1 strand, but it's as the cotton comes off. The flag, I'm doing 1 strand over 2 threads. These are all 36 count. This one I'm actually doing 2 strands over 2 threads. I haven't done that on 36 count before, so I thought, well, I can try. And I was able to get this far yesterday. So I got the center flowers and started on the flag. And so my goal So I got these flowers done here, and I started on the flag. I'm going to continue on the flag, and I'm going to go up, and I'm going to do the eagle, and there's some little motifs, including the numbers, and then I'll go back and do the blue, kind of what I did on the family tree, because then I don't have to bother about counting. I could just say, oh, I just go all the way across, and all the way back, and it'll be a lot easier on me. Nail and I were talking about stitching Mama Sarah, although I will say I had the words going, and she said, hi, I'm Sarah stitching Mommy. It didn't come out that way. But I like Sarah. Yeah, she does the extreme cross country. I don't trust myself counting like that. I don't. So I'm liking the coverage. Am I going to do every 36 count with 2 strands? I don't know. But I do like both. I think if it was full coverage, that'd be a bit much. But this piece is not. We'll see how the bird looks when I get there. Because Uncle Sam's on a crow. I don't know why he's on a crow. I mean, Ben Franklin wanted the turkey. But I guess that would be too much. That would be too much like Washington today, I guess. I wonder why he's on the crow. But I like it. Or maybe it's the raven with the olive branch of peace. I wonder if she says on her patterns. I'll have to study the pattern a little more. But I started that one. And that's all the stitching I've been doing. Again, I also had my yearly physical and mammogram. Encourage you to do that. Sometimes, especially if you're a mom, you think, well, everybody else, and if I do that, then somehow I'm being selfish. I've had that thinking. No, you're not. You need to be healthy so you can take care of everybody else. Mammogram all clear. And she noticed that my vitamin D, she did a blood work, my vitamin D was low. Considering how much cloud cover we've had here in Minnesota, that's totally understandable. So I've had to boost my vitamin D. Which is also why my energy level's been low. But yeah, homeschooling, it's weird, all the planning. It takes a lot out of you. Brain-wise, I think I have, yeah. I'm going to do stash, and then I want to show you some FFOs and some future FFOs. So where to start? I did order the December Blue Topaz Fairy. Although, to be honest, I don't really like the tree. I like her, but I don't like the tree. So, and I don't like this. I mean, if it's the birthstone, why worry about the season? Unless this is a new... If this is a new seasonal one... Oh, this is Winter Love. I'm sorry. This isn't Blue December Topaz. I marked it wrong. Maybe this is a new series she's doing. So there'll be a spring and a... I thought there was already a Summer Love. She did have a seasonal one. But I don't like this. Oh well. Not too worried about it. And also this one by Bella Filipina, Heiress of Atlantis. Yeah. The picture's damaged by me. Not who I ordered this through Marie at Just Add Needles. This is damaged by me and not Marie. So her stuff always is packaged so nicely. And this was released just a couple months ago, I think, if even that long. So when I went to Stitchville, I was looking, she calls for Krennic colors and DMC. No silks or overdyes, if I read the pattern right, which I believe I did. So I converted the DMCs to Krennics, or the Krennics, excuse me, to Petite Treasure Braid. And there are some conversion charts out there. Rainbow Gallery does have one on their website. The recommended ones I liked the gold recommended one and this recommended one here. I don't remember which Krennic those were for. I couldn't find the one they recommended for this, so I took the spool at Stitchville and I picked my own. And that's a little thicker because that was actually a number 8 braid that they wanted to replace. And if it doesn't work, I do have the silver in the petite treasure braid. And how do you know? This says petite up here, and if it's PB, it's petite braid. This is TR, which they call treasure ribbon, but this is actually like a number 8. And then this one was 9294, and they had 2 recommended colors, and I liked this one better than the other one. And then this one, I don't remember which one this one was for. It was totally off. So I chose this one. And then I also chose this piece of fabric, 32 count Velt by Picture This Plus. This fits on a fat quarter in 32 count. So there she is. It's kind of blues with greens and just a touch of red. There's just a touch. So I think she'll look really nice on there. If she doesn't look nice, I have other fabrics to try too, because I haven't pulled the DMCs yet. And I will find a piece that looks great on this. Because the flag would look great on this too, if I didn't already have that started. So those all go together. So I'm going to put those over here. Fabric of the Month by Fabulous. Maldives, 32 count, Belfast. Isn't that pretty? It's more green than is showing, and currently is coming across. Oh, you see a little more of the green here. Yeah, I see a pixie going on there. I wonder if the ladybug, Miss Ladybug, would look good on there. To pull the DMCs and figure it out. Thinking I might not do the Fabric of the Month Club anymore and do her Fiber of the Month Club, her cottons. Those are really nice to stitch with, but I haven't 100% made up my mind. And last year she took June off, so I'm thinking she might take June off this year. And some people have been being really rude to her, and that just gets me so mad, because so many of our toys that we get to play with in our cross stitching are made and provided by small businesses, usually a 1, 2, maybe 3 person shop. I mean, Stitchville, yes, they have a number of employees, but it's still a small business. Yeah, don't be rude. Be an adult. Be nice. And with Fiberlicious in particular, give me one moment. With Fiberlicious in particular, I know I ordered a piece of fabric from her, and it had some weird dye spots right in the middle. And the piece I bought it for was Lady of Mystery. Well, she's off to the side. But when I had ordered it, a couple days later, she released some new colors, so I'd ordered a second piece, which actually I didn't end up using because it was too close, but I still have it in my stash. So I contacted her and just said, just for quality purposes, I want to let you know. She offered to totally replace it for me and all of this, and I said, no. You don't understand. I'm not complaining. I just want you to know for quality purposes, and I will find something to go on there, because I stitch a Mira or another lady right in the middle. You'll never know that those dye spots are there. And I'm actually going to stop this video because my phone is going to jump, and I'm going to do a part 2. So I'll see you in a moment.